BJ O'Neill here with Business Coach Mastery with a video training all about future self. In other words, present living, how to embrace your future reality right now. Okay. Why? Now, depending upon where you are in building a business coaching practice, you may be just in the starting phase. You may be thinking about it. You like the idea to invest into others to help grow profitability in someone's business. Perhaps you already have a couple of clients or so, and you're just, you're 3, 4, 5, 6 months in, and you're just trying to figure some things out. And so there's a number of things that go well beyond just the interactions with the client. There's a number of things that go well beyond just learning the phases of coaching. And in our network, in our system, we use a complete and total done-for-you systematic approach that uses an assessment, really high-profile software that uses an assessment. So we're going to use those things tactically. But beyond that, there's some things that we have to do if we truly want to see success, whatever that word means to you. Perhaps it's making $120,000 a year. Maybe you're making $200,000 a year. Maybe it's the combined effort of what you need to have for a living, as well as the impact that you want to make on the life of business owners. Perhaps you're on the back nine of life and you're trying to, save for that additional, 401k, you're paying for college or whatever the case may be. But we want to get clarity on what do I do today? How do I think today on exactly what I want 5 years from now, and so on. So we can take some inspiration from the founder of IBM. And he said that the company would not have been what it was if it hadn't been for 3 specific reasons in the way he set things up from day one. The first was a clear picture of what done looks like. In other words, he began to say, all right, in the future of how many years down the road, whatever done was for him, this is the vision, this is the picture, this is what we want it to look like. This is what a visionary really does. And oftentimes, as a visionary, people can think we're crazy, right? And that's, as you share your plans, as you share what you want things to look like, you go back and look at the Jeff Bezoses, the Mark Zuckerbergs, all of these guys who have Elon Musk, and I understand we're not them. Yet, they have really crystal clear pictures of what they envision for the future. And as they're sharing them, especially before they got success, people thought they were crazy. They thought they were crazy, thought they were nuts. But look what's happened, right? And so that's what visionaries do, though. They begin to see things that others can't. So that was his first thing. The second, he began to say, okay, if this is the picture of what we want the company to look like, what would a group of people or the leader, the CEO, what are they going to do in terms of how to act? And they spent a lot of time in understanding, well, if a company that was doing X amount of, millions or billions or whatever, and we have, thousands of employees, we're doing all these different things, this is how they would act. So they had a clear picture. He had a clear picture. He had a clear understanding of how to behave and how to act based upon study and research and conversations. And then the third, which I would argue probably is one of the most important, is with the picture, with how to act, to actually begin to do it. Because I will tell you my own experience personally and working with dozens and dozens and dozens of coaches all over the country is that's where a lot of people kind of fall short, is that they read a lot of books, they watch videos, they go to seminars, go to trainings, but then they don't implement strategic thinking and actual action. Okay? So a few things I want you to consider, to think about. How do I begin to behave? How do I begin to act right now in the present for the future? All right? Number 1, you have to adapt a success mindset. Period. Right? In my own way, and again, you may have a different way of doing it, success just simply means is that I understand mindset-wise that every single thing that I do today, that my thinking is based upon what I want to see 5 to 10 years down the road. Like I have a personal 10-year picture of what I want things to look like for my own coaching business. You should too. Well, BJ, I don't know about ever. Look, we're not omniscient. We don't know the future, but we certainly can begin to think correctly, pray for those things, and so on. Ask God to put you in the right position, the right mindset. So what that simply means is every activity and action that I do, I look at it from a vantage point of success. Now, there could be a challenge. It may not have gone as well as I thought. There could be a mistake, but a successful person takes those things and understands them. They adapt to them. They reflect on them, and they put them in a position of, I'm going to learn from that, so you can learn from something every single day. When you look at the theory of the 1%, the daily 1% gain idea, in other words, what can I do to increase every single day by 1%? Doesn't sound like a lot, does it? But in a 365-day cycle, you could literally be 365% better than you are today by simple gains, right? And so you have to have a successful mindset. You have to have a mindset that no matter what the challenges are, the things that you're learning, think about it. When you're starting out on any kind of journey, when you're starting out building anything, there's things that you don't know, right? You're learning them. That can create overwhelm if you're not careful and with a successful mindset. A mediocrity mindset just constantly lives in the proverbial overwhelm. By choice, we can choose to live in a mastery mindset that just simply says, yeah, this is a challenge. Don't really prefer this, but I can learn from it and adjust and adapt. And if I do that enough times over time, I'm going to get better. I'm going to get better. And I'm moving myself closer to what I envision, to what God has in store for me in my life when the word done down the road. Could be 5 years, could be 10 years, or whatever the word done looks like for you. So we have to have that, a solid, successful mindset, period. Number 2 is vision casting and goal setting. If you're getting up and starting a business coaching practice, if you're getting up today, I'm recording this on a Friday. If I'm getting up today and I don't know what my activities are today, then I don't have either A, the right goals or any goals or no actual plans on achieving those goals. So every single day, week, month, quarter, you should have goals. Now, they have to adjust, but the goals need to match your vision. So for context, let's say that, my goal really is, in the next 5 years, $200,000 a year. And I'm just making numbers up here. $200,000 a year. I'm going to charge, $2,000 a month. So it's X amount of clients, and so on, and kind of go from there. Right. And so if I start to do all my activity that has nothing to do with the vision that I'm setting forth, then I'm going to go 6 months down the road, a year down the road, and I'm not closer to what I envision. So we have to protect our goals and our activities and our actions and make sure that they are directly connected to that vision. Now, I'm guilty of this, and I'll tell you why. I'm an ideas guy, and I love new things. I love new software. I love new ideas. I love new books. I just love all that, right? And I can find myself, and there's actually 2 pieces of software right now that I really am interested in that could maybe help me in my business. But here's the problem. I've already made commitments to other things. And if I add anything else to what I'm doing, it's just going to create overwhelm. It could create some challenges or so on, even though my interest level is pretty high on these pieces. But right now, it's not the time. And I can't verify that that's going to fit inside my goals, inside my vision. So as you create your vision and goals, you have to create a hedge of protection around them and be willing to say no unless you can verify and pull something else off to put something else in. Okay? The next thing is strategic planning for future moves. You have to give yourself some time to get away from the weeds. You have to give yourself some time, and it could be a 2-hour block or it could be a 2-day block. You have to determine for you what's the right move. My pastor at our church right now, he's has a couple of weeks away where it is 100% vision casting and strategy conversations with himself, his spouse, and then some team members at different times, all about the next year. Well, you may not take 2 weeks to do that. I don't know. It just depends upon, it's a fairly large church. But as we're building a business coaching practice, you have to take some time for strategy. Because our daily activities is the tactics that are born out of strategy. What type of clients I'm going to do? What type of lead generation activity am I going to get myself involved in? The strategy, for instance, if doing workshops for you is one of your strategies, right? How you're going to do them and going to do them is the tactics, right? So the strategy is the thing. Well, what does that look like for you? And if you haven't had that time to think about that and you're just kind of bouncing around a bunch of stuff and you've not really considered the payoff. You've not considered the investment. You're just kind of doing. I would encourage you, you've got to take some time to think about some things strategically. Get around to a community. Ask others what they're doing and why. Read some things, study some things to determine what's the best fit for you. And I'm just using lead gen, which is a big one, obviously, for building a coaching business. Client acquisition is the number one challenge. And the number one goal, when done correctly, that's where the money's really at. Last thing is then you got a vision, you have a mindset, you have strategy. It's daily implementation, just like I suggested earlier about the 1% daily gains. This is where, at worst case, if you are out and about in your community, and by the way, when I say the word your community, that still would include things like LinkedIn, alignable Facebook groups that are strategically designed for being in the right communities. If you are building relationships with business owners and with leaders every single day, and you're expanding your network over time, some of those opportunities are going to turn into paid opportunities for you. I'm going to tell you what won't work. When you hide behind the computer screen, when you hide behind the phone, when you say, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, then tomorrow comes, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it next week, I'll do it next month, and then your activity low is anemic. That is the number one. It's not even skills. The number one challenge and reason why so many coaches don't succeed has nothing to do with skill sets. Very seldomly have I seen a lot of coaches who, I can't make this work because I'm not able to coach or whatever. 99% of the time, it's always about a lack of activity, a lack of doing. It requires, you cannot build success without action. You must take action. All right? But you certainly want to take the right action that's born from your vision, that's born from your goals, that's born from your strategy. And then understanding that this is a journey. It's a continual movement. Right? You're never really done learning. You're never really done with mastery. Mastery is a mindset. That's why we call this business coach mastery for a reason. We want to master the relationships, the investments, the value that we're adding. We want to master the whole process for everybody's gain, not just you financially, but also for the clients that you're going to serve, and helping them to grow legitimate, long-lasting, solid businesses where they can hire more people, they can pay better, they can invest in their community, they can invest into the ministries and the churches that they feel God's calling them to invest in, and so on. So the goal for you now is to begin to have a mindset that says, I'm going to build, and it might take you a little while, to build what the future looks like and begin to live into that mindset today. And when you do that every single day, you're moving yourself closer and closer and closer to the reality of the future of what you want in your life. All right? Until next time, take care.